Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into an exciting project, creating a stunning semi-transparent epoxy coffee table. This is a project you don't want to miss, so grab your tools and let's get started. First things first, we need to clean the bark of the sides of the wood. This step is crucial to ensure the epoxy bonds properly with the surface and prevents any separation over time. Using a metal brush, we need to carefully remove the bark and any loose debris. We make sure the surface is smooth and clean before the next step. Next, we use a CNC router to flatten the wood. This step ensures the surface is perfectly even and level, which is essential. Now we use a chisel to clean out any debris, soft wood, and bark from the knots in the wood. This step is important to ensure a solid and clean surface for the epoxy. Next, we prepare our mold using melamine boards. To prevent any epoxy leaks, we carefully seal the joints between the melamine pieces with silicone sealant. Before moving on, we do a quick test to check if the wood slab fits perfectly in the mold. This is a simple but an important step. Now we clean the inside of the mold to remove any dust or dirt. You can use a vacuum cleaner or a compressed air to make sure the mold is completely spotless before moving forward. Next, we elevate the mold by leaving a small space underneath. This allows for better airflow, which helps the epoxy cure evenly and cool down faster. Use blocks or supports to lift the mold slightly off the work of surface, ensuring stability while keeping it well ventilated. To ensure a flawless epoxy pour, we make small adjustments to confirm the mold is perfectly level. Using a spirit level, we check all sides and corners, making precise tweaks as needed. Before pouring the epoxy, we apply a mold release spray to the inside of the mold. This creates a barrier that ensures the epoxy can be removed easily once it's cured. Now we begin the epoxy pour. Our coffee table will have a thickness of approximately 6 centimeters, so we'll pour it in 3 layers. Pouring in thinner layers is essential to prevent the epoxy from overheating, cracking, or trapping air bubbles. Properly mixing the epoxy is one of the most important steps. The biggest mistakes people make are not mixing thoroughly and forgetting to scrape the sides and bottom of the container. To ensure the best results, some experts recommend mixing in one bucket first, then transferring it to another bucket and mixing again. This method helps eliminate any unmixed resin or hardener. After mixing our epoxy, we add liquid pigments to achieve the desired color. For this project, we're going for a semi-transparent blue, so we'll add a small amount of pigment. Since we'll be pouring the epoxy in 3 layers, it's important to keep the color consistent. To do this, we measure carefully using 8 drops of pigment per liter of epoxy. This ensures all layers have the same beautiful uniform shade. We remove air bubbles from the epoxy using a heat gun. For small dust particles or imperfections, we use a needle to carefully pick them out, ensuring the epoxy remains smooth and clear. Here we are pouring the second layer of epoxy. Since curing is a chemical reaction, it's essential to pour the second layer while the first layer is still tacky. This ensures both layers bond together seamlessly. To remove air bubbles trapped along the edges of the wood slab, we gently sweep them out using either our finger or a brush. After about a week of proper drying, the epoxy has fully cured. Once we carefully remove the piece from the mold, we begin the flattening process using a CNC router. To remove the router marks left by the CNC, we begin sanding the surface using 100 grit sandpaper. We prepare a quick drying epoxy to fill in any remaining holes and imperfections in the surface. We begin sanding with 120 grit sandpaper to smooth out the surface, gradually working our way up to 600 grit sandpaper for a fine polished finish. When sanding, we avoid random movements and work in an organized pattern. Using vertical and horizontal strokes ensures every part of the surface is evenly sanded. Before continuing, we need to do edge profiling. And for that, we use a 30-degree router bit to create a beveled edge. Now we continue sanding, but this time we spray water between each sanding pass. Spraying water helps raise the wood grain, allowing us to sand it down for an even smoother surface. This technique ensures the final finish is flawless and professional. Let's not forget to sand the edges too. To preserve the bevel line, we use a sanding block for better control and precision, ensuring the edges remain smooth while maintaining the clean, sharp profile. Now it's time to wax our coffee table. For this step, we're using Rubio Monocoat, which not only enhances the natural beauty of the wood, but also provides a durable, protective finish. For waxing, we use a polishing machine to ensure an even and consistent finish across the surface. However, if you don't have a machine, you can achieve great results by applying the wax evenly by hand with a soft cloth. We install the custom metal coffee table legs, ensuring they're securely attached. This gives the table a stylish and sturdy base. With this step, our coffee table is almost complete.